think you are secure. But unless there's a movement, none of us are secure. Now, let me tell you something. I learned very young what the need for movement and the need for civil rights. And I didn't learn this in school. In fact, Walter, I learned it growing up in the hood in Brooklyn. I grew up in the Alden Projects. And in those days, I don't know about Alden Projects now, but in those days, we had roaches. And I became an expert on roaches. You know, Reverend Stevens talked about our civil rights leader, preaching all that. But the part he left out of my bio, young folk, is I'm a roachologist. I lived with roaches. I know something about roaches. And I would get up every night, go to the bathroom, and I'd look in the kitchen, and all these roaches was around the kitchen table. And I noticed they would, you know, roach sit up there in the dark, cross his legs, reach the new crazy. And I had a sister. My sister got one night and said, "What are you doing?" I said, "I'm looking at these roaches." She said, "What roaches?" I said, "There's a bunch of roaches in the kitchen." She said, "Where?" And I cut the light on, they ran. Next night I went, they would back out. I said, "I can show her now." I cut the light on, went and got her, they was gone. So by the third night I figured it out, Johnson, that roaches only operate if nobody cuts the lights on. The job of National Action Network and civil rights leaders is to cut the lights on folk that operate in the dark. And protest for. People say to me, "Well, I don't know what marching accomplishes," because you don't understand what it's supposed to accomplish. Marching doesn't solve a problem, marching exposes a problem. Once you march and cut the lights on, then the problem is out there where somebody has to solve it. So you got police throwing kids up against the wall wrong in school, cut the light on. Get you 20, 30 people march around the building, they cut them cameras on, roaches run, yeah. I caught one of them roaches with one of them funny cartoons in the New York Post the other day. I'm looking at the paper, it was funny until I cut the light on. So how you gonna imply that the president is a chimpanzee? Then they gonna get all defensive and mad. But I know what it is once you cut the light on, they get guilty. You know, my mother didn't grow up in New York, she grew up in Alabama. She used to tell me, she said, "You don't know nothing about a farm." She said, "But I'll tell you one thing." She said, "If you throw a brick in a pile of hogs, the one to holler is the one you hit." If you don't hit the hog, he ain't gonna holler. The one holler is the one you hit. So we must still expose the problem until we make equal the things that I talked about: healthcare, education, criminal justice, and the things that Twiggy said they're working on. You must fight and expose the inequities. Now some say, "Well, Reverend, we have an African-American president now, African-American Attorney General and Governor." even still, they need us to create the climate so they can make the change. There's the old story of A. Philip Randolph, civil rights leader in the 40s. He went to Franklin Delano Roosevelt, who was president at the time. And he said to the president, he said, it's immoral, it's unfair, it's racist that men in the armed service go and fight wars, risk their lives, but have to sleep in segregated barracks. Can't eat in restaurants in the cities that they are serving in the army in. It is wrong that we're treated differently, yet we make the same sacrifice. Roosevelt looked at him, he said, you know, you're right. It is wrong, it is immoral, it is racist. And we do need to change it. Now go out there and make me do it. That's right. Which means even with a president or a governor on your side, you must create the climate that they can do what needs to be done. If there's no climate set, then you're asking them to become the advocates rather than those that govern. That's why Martin Luther King said there are two types of leaders. There are thermometers and there are thermostats. Thermometers give you the temperature in the room. Thermostats change the temperature in the room. Thermometer says 60 degrees. Thermostat said, let's turn up the heat. And we need more thermostat leaders that will change the temperature rather than gauge the temperature. But there's another part of that. The other part of that is we have to be responsible ourselves. Too many of us are asleep on the job. Too many of us have allowed the world to convince us that we can't do what needs to be done. Too many of us have allowed the culture to beat us down and submit. One of the things I've been challenging young people, that's why I went to the high school this morning when I got here, and I do it all over the country, is we cannot allow the culture to trick these young people into feeling they ain't nothing. I remember a couple of years ago, I jumped on some of the gangster rappers. I like rap, but I just don't like demeaning our people. And I said to them, you can't cut CDs demeaning anybody else. Why you cut these CDs calling us the N-word and calling our women hoes and bees? One of them said to me, well, you understand, Reverend Al, we just kick it like we see it. We just say it the way it is. We like a mirror, we just show what it is. I said, well, that's funny to me. He said, what do you mean? I said, I use a mirror every morning. Well, I'm staying. I get up, go to the bathroom, look in the mirror, hair all over my head, sleep around my eyes, slop around my mouth. I don't walk outside like that talking about I'm going to keep it real. Not just to reflect what you see. Mirrors are to correct what you see. I remember one night on BT, me and one of them got into it. So I don't care what you say. I will say what I want to say. I believe in using the N-word. He had a fit right there on TV. Nigga, 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 nigga. I tried to explain to him my position. He just gone on. About 8 weeks later, I pick up the newspaper and he got arrested. They found something in his car. About 3 days later, my office called on my cell phone and said, so-and-so's on the phone. Want to talk to you. I said, well, put him through. Plugged him through. He said, Reverend Al. I said, yeah, how you doing, man? Yeah, they busted me. I said, yeah, I read about that. Yeah, he said, I need your help. I said, what you need me to do? He said, well, they violated my civil rights. I said, niggas ain't got no civil rights. The White House. They ain't nobody's hoes. Those are young African-American women and so at ease. And we got to raise them to know that they were born to be the first family, not to be somebody's hoe and somebody's people. You can understand right now, we just down. If you're down, don't celebrate being down. Don't romanticize being down. Don't ever accept being down. If I stepped off this pulpit and walked over to your pew and knocked you off your seat, that's on me. But if we come back next Monday night and you still laying on the floor, that's on you. Even if you're not responsible for being down, you're responsible for getting up. And if you wait on those that knock you down and lift you up, you'll never get up, because if they want you up, they wouldn't have knocked you down. If you were down, don't accept it. No matter how far down you are, look up anyhow. You can get up and look up till you can figure out how to get up. But don't let anybody define you or tell you you can't be nothing. And don't let no one tell you if you come together, you can't decide the course of the future of this city. You got an election this year. If you come together, you decide who the mayor gonna be. You decide who gonna be on the council. And you decide that based on their respect and regard for your issues. But as long as you feel you can't do nothing, people don't have to worry about it. You realize Martin Luther King changed this whole country and never had a cell phone? Thurgood Marshall rewrote American law and never had email. On a rotary phone, on the back of Greyhound buses, they took on the most powerful country in the world and won. Here we are, email, Facebook, laptops, computer in 2 or 3 in your rooms, Blackberries, 2 cell phones in your pocket. You can't get 5 Negroes together to help get a dope man off the corner. We've lost our will and we've lost our confidence. And it's time for us to return and be what we were born to be. Ever since we got to these shows, every generation found a way to give a better life to their children than they had. This is the first generation that may hand its children a worse quality of life. We've got to turn that around, and this is the mission. Let me tell you something, I'll let you go. Life is not about what you do for yourself. Life is about what you can do for more than yourself. your life aside to be committed to something more than yourself. Because when your life is over, if all you did is for yourself, your leaving life won't matter to nobody but yourself. I can tell you, all these preachers here can tell you the hardest job of a black preacher, most difficult task, is to preach the funeral of an irrelevant Negro. That's a hard job. They roll the body down the aisle, lay it out here in front of the altar. Family sit up on the front row crying and slobbering and carrying on. And we supposed to get up and hallucinate a life for you you ain't never lived. I mean, most folks shouldn't even have a funeral. Most folks gonna stay from the mall to the cemetery. Because most folks ain't done nothing we can talk about. Got you a nice house. Who cares? We sell your house as soon as you die. Got you a nice car. We'll ride all over Syracuse. The only thing that will matter 2 minutes after you go is can some child say you taught them something? Can some community group or church say you helped change the neighborhood? You should ask yourself every day, if this is my last day, what can they say about me? And if you're not satisfied with your own answer, you need to get involved tonight, not for us, not for the church, not for the organization, but to fulfill yourself, so that your life has not been a waste of time and a waste of space in this time in history. You have to do it my way, do it your way, but do something. I told young people today at the school, only ones with clean uniforms. People always say to me, right now you're controversial, got this, got that. The only ones with clean uniforms is people that never got on the field. If you get out here, you're going to get tackled. The idea in life is not to avoid being tackled, is to learn how to get up after you get knocked out. None of y'all say, well, I can't get involved because I made mistakes in life. My background ain't clean. I don't care what you've done. Life is not about your past, it's your future. In fact, if you've been through something that made you stronger, so you can help some of these kids get through what they got to do. I do 4 or 5 cities a week. I fly in good weather, bad weather, don't matter to me. The only thing that'll stop me from flying, the only thing that'll make me not get on a plane, is if they tell me it's the pilot's first trip. I don't want to fly with no pilot on his first trip. I realize he's been to pilot school and got the license and all of that. But there's a difference in book learning. And when he go up there and he may hit some clouds and he don't know what to do, or hit an unexpected storm, or they have what they call clear air turbulence. I want to go up with somebody that's been through the bumps, been through the turbulence, been hit by storms they didn't see coming. I know a lot of y'all want to hang out with friends that ain't never made a mistake and ain't never fell down and ain't never tripped up and ain't never been bruised. I don't want them kind of friends. I want friends that have been knocked down, that have been laughed at, that have been rejected and been dismissed and marginalized. I know they can take it because they've been through something. You don't know what you could take till you had to take it. Till you've been tested, you don't know how strong you are. But if you've been knocked down and had to get up, every time you get up, you'll be strong. And you know you can make it. That's why at the end, and I'm really going to sit down now. I said one day talking to the president when he was still running, I said, you know something, then Senator Obama, I like your book, The Audacity of Hope. Named after a sermon by his pastor, Jeremiah Wright. I remember a generation ago, my mentor, CJack, used to talk about keep hope alive. I said, but the older I got in the struggle, the more I learned there's a step past hope. There's a reason why them folk down in Alabama kept marching. There's a reason why my mother could raise me by herself on welfare with nobody on her side. There was a step called that was past hope. There was one step when hope run out. Let me tell you something, hope is a feeling. Hope is maybe my luck will change. Maybe my ship will come in. But there's a thing on the other side of hope called faith. In fact, faith is the substance of things. Hope for the evidence of things not seen. Faith is when the doctors give up, but you hold on for another doctor. Faith is when you got a pile of bills and no money, but you say he will provide all of my needs. Faith is when your friends walk out, when your loved ones don't know your name, when your family turn their back on you, but you say, I don't believe he brought me this far to leave me now. We come this far by faith, leaning on the Lord, trusting in his holy word. He never, from the outhouse to the White House, he never failed me yet.
CJack, I think folks here really understood a purpose today of being involved in their community, putting personal interests, self-interest in front of the community interest. So I'm excited today. It was a great event in spite of the weather.